place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself.
Hey everyone! Today we're going to be doing a facial with a couple electrical modalities that you can incorporate into your treatment. So we're going to start with our pre-cleanse first, which is our step 1. This is an oil-based cleanser and it's going to help remove any makeup, debris, and dirt. So we're going to put a couple pumps into our hand and we're going to lather it underneath the facial steamer. That way it helps to warm up the product. And we're going to make contact to our client. I like to usually touch on the décolleté or the back of the shoulders. And we're going to apply over the chest, up on the throat, over the chin, up on the cheeks, down on the nose, and the forehead across. Okay, and without lifting my fingers, I'm going to go straight back down and we're going to go right into our spreading motions. So we come up over the chest, the throat, the chin, we scissor the mouth, and when we come between the nose and the eyes, we circle on the eyebrows as 1, a little higher than the eyebrows as 2, and then we come up to that hairline, which would be 3. We come to our temples, we circle 1, 2, 3, we go back down. And we will perform again, coming up over the chest, up on the throat, over the chin, scissor the mouth, come between that bridge of the nose and the eyebrows is 1, a little higher is 2, hairline is 3, and temples are 1, 2, 3. So we will come back down and we will begin our actual cleansing routine. So we're going to start from the left side of the shoulder and we're going to perform our effleurage motion. Now our effleurage movement is light, continuous stroking movements. You usually always begin a facial and you end a facial with effleurage. Okay, so don't compromise the move. Come all the way in behind the client's shoulders, up underneath the ear, all the way underneath. Okay, we really want to give them a deep cleanse. Come all the way back across. I usually do this about 3 times, so left to right and then right to left is 1. And so then you start to begin bringing these effleurage movements up underneath that chin. Come up onto those cheeks. And still you want to count through this. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And notice I don't lift my hands from the client's face. I still remain contact at all times. We'll perform some chin frictions with our thumbs. Break up any of those microcomedones that we might find in that T-zone. Come around the lip area. Clients that wear a lot of lip liner and lipsticks get a lot of microcomedones. So it's important that we give a little bit of some thumb frictions in and around the lip area. Come up onto those cheeks very lightly. And we start to work that pre-cleanse into the skin. So here we're going to start doing some Dr. Jacquet movements, which is really good for lymphatic drainage. So you want to make a brace underneath that jaw bone with your pointer finger, and then you're going to want to apply your thumb on top of that jawbone. And you're going to apply very light pressure opening back towards the ear. Okay, I call it the hop motion, so you're kind of hopping, 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 and then you will slide back to the front. When you slide back to the front, you do not want any pressure. This is going to help with our manual lymph drainage. So we just slide and we open, or hop, and then we slide back. We hop, we hop, we hop, slight pressure, slide back. Hop, 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 and slide back. If your client has a lot of toxin built up or gets a lot of breakouts in that jaw area, this is a fantastic movement to incorporate into the treatment. You actually can feel little beads underneath the skin, and that is your lymph that is carrying toxin. So we're just going to smooth that out with a little bit of our effleurage. Anytime you do something with pressure, you need to go back over with effleurage to smooth it out. And we'll just come back around the eyes. So make a butterfly with your hands using your thumbs, and you're going to place one thumb on one side of the nose and the other on the other side, and you will just do light thumb frictions on the nostril, one at a time, because if you do it at the same, they will not be able to breathe. And that's going to help to break up the microcomedones, any blackheads or whiteheads that we might find. So we do up at the bridge of the nose. I like to pause in between the eyebrows here. This is our zone 2, or I call it our third eye. Clients hold a lot of stress in that area, so it feels really good to them if you want to pause in between the eyebrows. And we'll do some S patterns across the forehead. Some more effleurage. And we'll come right to those temples. One, two, three. Add firm pressure and release off of your client. So now you're ready to add water to your cleanse. Now this water is going to create what we call an emulsification. Emulsification is going to be the aid in helping turn this oil-based cleanser into a water-soluble cleanser, so that way we're able to remove it from the skin. I want you to think of the water like a magnet, and the magnet is going to pretty much attach any dirt or debris that we broke apart to the water molecule. Now I know that this seems really slow and long, but I also have slowed down this video for demonstration purposes. Your first cleanse and your second cleanse should take you between 2 to 3 minutes each. So we just want to make sure we really spread that water everywhere onto the skin. So I like to do one spreading motion. And then we will remove with our sponges. Now sponges are a one-time use, single-use item. If you want to give that to your client to take home, it's a nice little gift for them. You want to make sure that all of that excess water is really squeezed out. You do not want to drip over your client. I like to make contact, and then I like to continue my effleurage movements with my sponges. And make sure, since we cleansed in behind the shoulder and up underneath the ear, that you really remove behind the shoulder and underneath the ear. We do not want our clients to feel sticky or feel that there is residue left behind. So just remember, when you're removing, everything is in rhythm and in harmony with each other. You always want to remember to have rhythm and flow. Now, after I do the first cleanse, I usually like to do a skin analysis to determine what's going on with my client's skin. So that way I can better determine which second cleanser I would like to use. And so for Lisa here, she does have a couple minor breakouts on her skin, and she's got oily combination skin. So I would like to use some kind of salicylic acid cleanser on her for her second cleanse. Something with maybe benzoyl peroxide in it. So for demonstration purposes, we're going to pretend we did our second cleanse. You would follow the same routine as you just saw. And we're going to take our daily microfoliant, which is our exfoliator. We need a cup. You need your product. This is a Rice brand salicylic enzymatic exfoliant. So enzymatic is like your little Pac-Man. They like to go in and manually eat the dead skin cells and chemically eat the dead skin cells. So you can manually manipulate it on your client's skin with your fingertips, with your rotary brush, but also while you are manipulating the skin, inside of the skin underneath, it is actually chemically exfoliating as well. It's helping you to slough off those dead skin cells. So you just need a very tiny bit into your 2-ounce cup, and we're going to add the same amount of water, equal parts, when you're mixing. I'm going to take my fan brush. I'm going to get me a little bit of water. Now I do have clean water in my bowl. Okay, just add a little bit of water into the 2-ounce cup, and we're going to really stir it vigorously so it starts to foam up. You should be able to hold your cup upside down and it does not drip out. So I'm going to show you how to apply this. And first I want to show you typically what I see when I'm in the treatment room and I am teaching. So we made contact and we start with long strokes and we come back up and we come out on the cheeks. And then we're going to go down the nose on each side. And then we're going to repeat on the other side of the face. Now notice how we've already done one side of the face. We've already done the bridge of the nose. We've covered the forehead. We're going to incorporate into the neck. We're going to go on the décolleté. So this is what not to do. This is what I see a lot when I'm teaching. And it's okay when you are first starting off because you're trying to get into your own groove of how you want to do your treatments. But remember, you are not Picasso and we are not painting a picture. We just want to simply get this product on because our time is our money. Unfortunately, I hate that saying, but it is true. So this coming off and onto the skin is not a good thing to do either because it startles our client. So this is the correct way I want you guys to apply. So we're going to make contact with our client. I usually come at the side of the forehead, at the temples, to let them know that we are here. And I like to do long strokes all the way down to the chin. We come back up. Cheeks come out towards the ear. Swirl around in our cup, other side, forehead, long stroke all the way down underneath that chin. Come back up, cheeks are out. Give another little swirl. We're going to come down the bridge of the nose on one side, on the other, swirl again, come across that top lip. And then we are going to come over the throat or the neck, and then the décolleté or the chest. You do not have to exfoliate the neck and the chest, but I like to because we do live in Florida. If you do live in a sunnier state where your client is exposed to more sun rays, then pigmentation is definitely going to be an issue that you will see. So it just helps to lighten and brighten that skin and helps to brighten the dullness when we have like fine lines and wrinkles. So I'm going to manually exfoliate the skin. And when you exfoliate, you want to make sure your fingertips are wet. And I like to do small little circle strokes. And usually I will exfoliate the skin for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, we are going to do an electrical device to amp up this exfoliation treatment. So this is called your ultrasonic skin blade. It's not a blade where you cut yourself like a razor. It's very dull. But you are able to perform galvanic iontophoresis and galvanic desincrustation with this. It also has 2 features on here where you can give a deeper cleanse and you can also lift the skin. So we're going to hold the button down, press on, and we will push this button one time so that we are going to our cleaning mode. Okay, I want to give a deeper clean or a deeper exfoliation. So there's cleaning, lifting, iontophoresis, and then desincrustation. So let's go to our cleaning. And you want to make sure that you hold the blade pointing down when you are working on your client. Make sure that your fingertips are nice and wet. You never want to run this on the skin dry. It always needs to have enough moisture onto the skin. You want slip and glide. So the blade is pointing down. Okay, that's the back side. You want the back side to be facing up towards your ceiling. Okay, skin's nice and wet. And I like to exfoliate coming opposite the direction of the follicle. I want to really make sure that I clean that follicle out. If I go the other way, I potentially risk pushing dirt and debris back into the follicle underneath, and that can create more issues than doing good. So you always want to go against to really clean out that follicle. My hand is staying on the client just to let them know my presence is there. Clients who are nervous or scared, I would not use this on for the first time. Definitely clients who suffer from epilepsy, seizures, have a pacemaker, any heart problems, heart palpitations, you definitely do not want to use this on because this is an electrical current. Okay, so they would be considered what we call contraindicated, meaning they cannot have this step performed in their treatment. Okay, I like to use my fingers to just complete the current. Sometimes when you're working with currents with electrical devices, the current can jump or spark, which usually means it would just shock your client. So if I keep contact onto my client's skin, I definitely minimize that risk of the client getting shocked. And periodically I like to wipe my blade down from the product. It's definitely easier on a live person than on a mannequin. So usually about 1 to 2 passes on a client, I would wipe the blade, and then I would place back down and start again for another 2 passes before wiping. You actually will see the dirt and debris left behind, as well as the product and any dead skin cells that it picks up, which is really cool. So then we're going to remove with our sponges. I like to remove the exfoliant with my sponges first, and then I like to use a customized steamed towel. I like to customize my towels usually with some type of botanical mixer. You do have one in your kits called Calming Botanical Mixer that you can use. I also sometimes will use essential oil, depending on my client's preference, which I usually will ask in the beginning when we do our consultation. Now that ultrasonic skin blade, that is just an oscillation vibration of sound waves that is accompanied with an electrical current. So the oscillation pretty much creates, think of like an earthquake, where it helps to shake out any dirt or debris from that follicle onto the surface of the skin, and that's essentially what you're exfoliating off. You can also use that in aid of extractions, which you would use it with your desincrustation. So after we've removed that product thoroughly, we are going to apply a mask. This is your colloidal mask base. It's a gel. You always want to use some type of gel mask when you're using electrical devices or electrical modalities, because it's safe for the current to pass through. Also, if you decide to use LED light therapy, LED light cannot penetrate through any mask that's colored. So those light rays would need to be penetrating through a clear mask. Okay, so just a little bit in a 2-ounce cup. You could also put a little of your Calming Botanical Mixer in here just to customize it and give it a nice aroma. We're going to take a clean fan brush, and we're going to apply it the same way that we applied the exfoliant. Now that ultrasonic skin blade, we're going to use it again for iontophoresis on the positive polarity. We're going to use it to help push this mask further into the skin, help it to penetrate further into the layers of the skin instead of just sitting topically on the surface. You can also, again, use that with your desincrustation extraction technique, and the product that's in your kit for that is called Scaling Gel. So I will be doing a video shortly on that as well to educate you further on how to properly do that treatment. So you're going to need a 4x4 100% cotton gauze. Anytime you're using electrical devices, you need 100% cotton gauze because it's not a good conductor of electricity. We're just going to place that over top of the mask. Sometimes you can buy pre-cut facial gauze that has the eyes, the nose, and the mouth pre-cut out. You could also buy these and cut it yourself. I just place down on, and then I pinch, making like a little tent. I just pinch above that nose so that way it creates them to be able to breathe. Now if your client's claustrophobic, I will show you another technique that you can use with this. So we're going to introduce some high frequency into this treatment. And since my client, during our skin analysis, we determined that she is oily and has a few breakouts, So we're going to use high frequency, and we're going to use our argon gas. So there is neon and argon gas. Neon is usually orange, red, and pinkish toned, as where argon is going to be more violet blue. And violet blue is always going to be good for acneic or oily skin. So it's a glass probe that you're going to place down into the handle. I like to usually place it down in with a towel wrapped around when you're first starting off, because these can break very easily. So this is a mushroom tip, and that metal that's at the bottom is what will actually slide down into the handle. It will feel tight, so just make sure with caution, press down in firmly. And then there's a little knob that's on the bottom of your handle that you're able to turn. It's like a little turn dial for the intensity of your current. So I just wanted to show you with the lights off the argon, how it is like a violet blue. So this is good indication to let your client know and let you know that this is good for oily acneic skin, a client that's prone to blemishes as well. So we're going to place down on. First, before we place, we're going to apply our finger to the glass probe and place down to the client. Once you've made contact onto the skin, you can remove your finger, but do not lift off because you could potentially shock your client. Now the same applies for this device as the ultrasonic skin blade. Pacemaker, epilepsy, seizures, blood clotting disorders, really any blood disorders, pregnancy, braces, pacemaker, stents in the heart, they would all unfortunately be contraindicated. So a little backstory on this. I seen an article where in New York City they charge just for high frequency 20 minutes is $50 as an add-on. So you can really incorporate these into your treatments as add-on services to really amp up your treatment in the treatment room. So remember I had told you if your client's claustrophobic, you would not want to use this method as placing the gauze. So you would just fold your gauze. Now, the more you fold it, the thicker it's going to be, which we call in the treatment room, it creates a spark gap. And when you have a spark gap, the current is intensified. So you're not going to have the strength of that current as high as before. You're going to turn it down. Okay, so my finger is on. I'm just testing the current. I'm making contact with my client's skin, and I place down on. And we just do the same exact circle pattern on top of this gauze. Now you can put this directly onto the skin. The reason I don't is because it does not slide as easily onto the skin. I feel that it kind of sticks and drags. So I use this gauze to help glide it easier for me. Then I want to show you a technique that we call zapping the zit, which you would take the probe and you go directly onto a blemish that you see with the client that's on the skin, and you would pick off and on. And that would zap the zit So what happens is this creates blood coagulation, and during the blood coagulation it just pretty much stops that blood flow to the blemish. So it helps to either bring it to a head or minimize that inflammation and that edema swelling that you see. So there are different probes that come in your kit. There is a rake or a comb. You can use that for scalp treatments. There's a smaller probe that's more for around like the nose, the lip, and the eye area because it's a smaller tip. We have the leaf, which the leaf is just another shape, beveled edge that you can use around the nose a little bit easier. And then you also have the one that we just used, which was the mushroom tip. So the mushroom probe is usually the most common. It's used for larger areas of the body. You do not have to use high frequency just on the face. You can use this for your butt facials, your vajacials, your back treatments. Now I want to show you again with the ultrasonic blade. We're going to turn it on, and instead of going to that cleaning mode, we're going to go to the lifting mode. So we click it once, we click it twice. This little device I've gotten for $25 on Amazon. Sometimes they run promotions where it's maybe $14. I've seen it as low as $10, and they can be in the hundreds. Biotherapeutics is a great company. Their devices are German made, which will last you forever. So this device as a skin professional is about $250 on their website. It's also, I believe, in your milady skin textbook, biotherapeutics.com, as a reference. So this time we're going to have the buttons facing up towards the ceiling, and we're going to use the smooth part of the blade. And we're just lightly lifting with the skin, and it's helping to penetrate that product further. So remember, gravity takes over, so that's why we have the lifting option on the tool. You're going to help lift that skin. You could also use this as a very mild form of microcurrent if you did not have a microcurrent machine. Just remember, what you do to one side, you would definitely complete with the other. Especially after you do extractions, you would always want to do iontophoresis on the positive polarity to help bring that pH back down where the skin likes to live, which is usually about a 4.4 to 5.5. So right now we're just helping to tighten that skin. We're helping to push the product further into the skin. This is one of those that they call the instant facelift. And again, I just use my fingers to complete that current. And then we're going to turn it off. To clean that blade, you would just wipe down with alcohol. Now, I don't have steam towels, so I'm using my sponges throughout this treatment. I would definitely like to use a steam towel at this point. I think it feels a little bit better, more relaxing. And after you remove the product, we're going to follow with a toner. Toner is going to help rebalance that pH, hydrate and tighten the skin. It's going to give it its hydrating properties that we're looking for. Now, you don't want to spray directly down onto the client. That's a no-no. Okay? Do not spray underneath the eyes. You're risking getting it up the nose, into the eyes. Your client will start to kind of flinch because they were startled. I like to come from behind, left side to right side in a rainbow fashion or an arc fashion. And then when you see beads of product on the client's vellus hair, usually that's a good indication that we are completely saturated. If you feel that the client's skin just soaks it up, do another spray, do another 3 passes. They might be a little bit dehydrated, which most clients are. Your skin is always going to be the last to receive water because it's the largest organ. So after we've applied our toner, we're going to follow with our active moist or our moisturizer. This is a lightweight moisturizer that's oil-free. Remember, in the consultation, my client was oily, so we do not want to use any oil-based products on our client's skin. Now you may be wondering, but Miss Elle, why did we use pre-cleanse on our client if it's an oil-based? Well, you always want to remember that oil attracts oil. So again, like a magnet, anything that we broke apart during that cleanse, it's going to kind of stick to each other when we remove. So you're actually helping your client's skin versus giving it too much oil production. I usually just follow with some effleurage. I do some around the world motions because I think that feels really great. And then we're just going to end at the temples. And each circle gets a little bit slower and a little bit lighter until we are finally off. So this would conclude your treatment. At this time, you would get your client undressed, meet them up front to rebook their next appointment, and get them a bottle of water. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.